Graham Day here at Agents of Geek and Fortress of Geek. I was at Eirtakon and I got to meet a lot of cosplayers, a lot of fantastic artists, and yeah, we just had the general chats and a lot of nerdy fun. So, enjoy.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Right, so I'm here with Robert Curley on some of his creator-owned comics. Robert, what can you tell us about the comics?
Well, basically this is Atomic Diner is the name of the company, and we produce all Irish themed comics. We use Irish history and mythology as a backdrop and put our own original characters in there. So creating a kind of an alternative history.
And I've seen some of them here, the League of Volunteers. Would they be kind of your own Justice League, your own Avengers?
They're similar to the Avengers, yeah. I have to admit I loved the Avengers growing up, so the best way to describe them is somewhere between Hellboy and the Avengers, yeah.
And I'm just in there, Jennifer Wilde. That's gotten huge publication lately because of Stephen Mooney's art. Sorry, not Stephen Mooney. Stephen Downey. Yeah, Stephen Downey's artwork.
Too, so.
They're around each other all the time.
And they look alike.
Yeah, actually. But Stephen Downey's artwork is it's superb. And does your writing, does it complement that? Does it complement it?
Well, I've done Black Scorpion with Stephen, the Savage Boy Malachi Coney wrote, and Jennifer Wilde, Maura McHugh wrote that. So even though they're my characters, I don't write them all. So the only book I've actually written with him that he's drawn is Black Scorpion. But I think Stephen's art just complements anything. He's so good, you know.
Because there's a very much a pulp feeling, the Pulp Fiction kind of style that harkens back to the very old days of comics. Is that what you're kind of going for with your style of writing and maybe the artist that you chose?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up loving all that stuff. It's not necessarily the reason why I would choose the artists I've chosen. Just look for good artists, which all the guys are. But it's all, they're all period pieces. League of Volunteers is 1940s, Crimson Blade is 1790s, Jennifer Wilde is 1920s, so, yeah.
All right, well, thanks very much, Robert. It was a pleasure meeting you. Right, so I'm here with Keith, and we're in the line for Steve Blum. Keith, what interested you about Steve Blum?
It's just since I was young, just watching him and just everything, and he's probably my favourite voice actor ever. It's just a really good voice actor. I know he's in a lot, and there's a lot of people that complain that he's in a lot, and and I constantly defend it. But my point is, if something's broke, don't fix it. You know, it's like just really damn good voice actor, does a lot for everything. Even if he's not a main character, you're guaranteed that he's going to put a lot of effort into it. So. Yeah, no, damn good voice actor, and like the chance to meet him, I just couldn't pass up. So, definitely. Like I left my artist alley table just to come up here, so it was worth it. So.
And what anime is that? Is that the first anime that you were introduced to him?
No, the first one would have been Cowboy Bebop, but I hadn't really heard of him at the time. This was the first anime I'd watched where I knew who Steve Blum was. So big, very, very well done TV series. Season 2 went a bit south, but it was still quite good, and I still highly recommend it. So.
And is there any questions that you're dying to ask him?
No, literally, there's no question other than just like really, like not even a question, just praise, just like really big fan of your work kind of thing, just the usual. So maybe I'm ask him how to get into voice acting, because someone I'd like to be able to fall back on if art doesn't pull through, you know. So yeah.
All right, well, Keith, thanks very much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks. And so I'm here at Eirtakon, and right now we're talking to people with interest in Steve Blum. So tell me, you picked Mon, and what interests you about Steve Blum so much?
I just love the Mon character. One of the best villains I've seen in an animated series. As soon as I heard he was coming here to Eirtakon, I chose the cosplay. Just see his reaction, you know.
And it was quite a reaction. He was very impressed with it.
I'm glad I could impress him. Probably never going to see him any other time. So,
but you never know. But I see your mask. I was asking you there. You made it yourself, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, nothing too complicated. Just bought a local shop props and just cut it with scissors and painted it, and that was it.
And then what about the rest of it? Because the rest of it is a bit more complicated because it actually looks like the outfit. So you must have had to... Like, what did you have to do to get it look the way it does?
Well, I did have to go to a tailor shop. I mean, I couldn't like do all this myself. I mean, I had a lot of help making it, but it was definitely worth it in the end.
And have you met anyone else? Like, have you seen Courtney or Ricky?
No, I couldn't see him today, unfortunately.
But yeah, like I said, you look amazing, and congratulations on meeting Steve.
Amazing.
All right, thanks very much.
Haven't we met somewhere before? Love the Toreador thing. Black pants, red jacket, nice look. What the hell happened?
So we're here at Agents of Geek at Eirtakon, and we're with the legendary Steve Blum.
Legendary.
You're legendary. Do you know your career? Do you know the number of animated voices you've done?
No.
261. Looked it up just to see, just in case.
261 voices.
261 voices.
Wow.
From Spike, Starscream, everything you've.
In just anime?
Just in everything.
Oh,
like
really?
anime, voice acting,
everything.
Say,
that's like a year's worth. I think I've done a lot more than that.
A year's worth?
Yeah, probably. Because in video games alone, I've done over 300 projects in video games.
Yeah, they didn't count that.
And then there's usually multiple characters. So
yeah, but you do additional voices as well.
Crazy, yeah. It's just crazy. Anyway, it's a lot of them.
Yeah, like, I mean, I thought I had counted the number right. Good God.
You probably did, according to IMDb, but not all of them are.
Good. Like, I mean, and how does that feel, like, looking back on that now?
It's really weird, actually, because I didn't keep track of any of that until recently when I had to look some things up. But, yeah, I mean, I just did the work and had a great time doing it and continue to do that. So
like, I mean, yeah, and I mean, you're huge known as Wolverine. You've been doing that for almost a decade now, I think.
Wolverine's been about 8 or 9 years now,
yeah. Like, I think the first time I was ever introduced to your iteration of Wolverine was X-Men Legends. The video game? Was that your first time out?
That's the first time I played Wolverine.
Yeah, because I remember it was like, this isn't the voice of Wolverine from the old cartoons. And then I grew to love it.
Oh,
because you became, Wolverine and the X-Men was such a huge series.
Yeah.
Even for the one season that was one of those terrible things that got cancelled along with like Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That like today people are still like I don't know if you know this, there's a Facebook group called 1 Million to Save Wolverine and the X-Men.
I've seen that.
And every day they release scripts that were planned for season 2.
Yeah.
And you see the kind of stuff that they were planning, and it was crazy.
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse stuff.
That's amazing. And then you've got, they finished Transformers there just recently, and your Starscream is like superb.
Oh, thank you.
Like it harkens back to the days when the 80s when you had the Starscream who was all controlling and meddling and he was a little bit crazy, and that not the Transformers from the Michael Bay era.
Yeah,
which is Starscream has nothing.
Yeah, I like the way that they fleshed him out. They gave him some color, and they made him very menacing at the same time. It was really a lot of fun to play that. And recently I met Chris Latta's daughter.
Oh, really?
And just being in her presence was sort of a humbling thing for me. I never got to meet him.
Yeah, because he was gone by then,
Yeah, so those are big shoes to step into.
And
in my case, they were heels.
Because when you've had so many, you've replaced not replaced, you've gone on and done iconic characters that were already iconic characters before you even began with iconic voice actors.
Yeah.
And now you've kind of become the iconic voice actor for, say, for our generation now.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah,
it's no problem at all. Like, I mean, I didn't even realize it until I looked it up. You were Black War Greymon.
Yes.
My favourite Digimon.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
next to Gilmon.
Yeah, I love Gilmon.
He's so cool.
And Pormon was kind of fun too.
Oh yeah.
The little pink puffy thing.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like you've done so much. Like, do you remember what was the first thing you ever did?
First thing I ever did was a Zoonoid for the Guyver.
Got what's
an
that?
anime called The Guyver.
I've never seen
Guyver
that.
1, 2, and 3, and I played Zoonoids at first, these creatures. And then I played the main bad guy, this guy named Agito, who was Guyver 3, and it's actually an amazing story. It was a really well written story.
And how long ago was that? Can you remember?
I don't even know. This was 20 years ago, maybe.
I was 5.
Yeah, it's still around. They re-released it on.
Oh, did they?
On DVD? Yeah.
And then you've done recently Korra.
Yeah.
Everyone can't forget him on. One of the greatest villains, I think, of 2012.
I was so lucky to work on that, and it was
amazing.
Also great because my mouth didn't have to match anything.
Oh yeah, because like for what was it? Almost all of your episodes, you had that mask.
Had the mask on. Yeah, it was one ADR was so easy.
Yeah. And then have you seen many cosplays of Amon?
Lots and lots of cosplays of Amon.
It's a great costume, I think. It's a great look to go for.
It's beautiful, actually. Yeah. It's beautifully animated. The whole story, the artwork in the story was so beautiful.
Tragic ending.
Very
like they made him a fully fleshed human being.
Yeah, they did. And D. Bradley Baker, who played my brother on the series, we actually had a moment at the end of that where we were both kind of heartbroken, and that doesn't happen very often.
So I shouldn't ask, do you come back in season 3? I shouldn't ask that.
I cannot confirm or deny. Yeah.
And then you've also been Ogren in Dragon Age.
Oh yeah, everybody's favorite drunken dwarf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is he coming back for Dragon Age 3?
Cannot confirm or deny. Now, see, I'm not allowed to talk about anything that hasn't been released.
So have you got many projects going right now?
I have a lot of projects going right now. Yeah, most of them I can't talk about also, but I have a very big original animated project that's going to be coming out, a new series that's going to be coming out. We'll tease it in February worldwide, and I can't tell you what it is, but look at my website around February and you'll see something, and then a little bit later in the year I'm going to be in a really big film. My first really big film, yeah.
I can't wait for that.
So that's going to be really fun too. So lots of things coming down the pipe.
That always seems to be the kind of thing for you.
Yeah.
Are you ever not working?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, we all have...
It seems every year you're in something.
Well, yes. Every year I'm in something, thank God, because that's how I make my living. Yeah. So I worked really hard at it, though. I do a lot of auditions. I do 30 to 40 auditions a week at least. And, hopefully I book a small percentage of that to keep me functional. But I consider myself a blue-collar guy in the industry because I'm constantly slogging away. If you ask anyone here, you're like a lot of people's hero because you've become a staple in everyone's childhood. You've been everything. You've been heroes, villains, and everything in between. Yeah, that's a heavy burden. That's a heavy burden. I take that very seriously, though. And coming to the cons especially, I hear people's response to all of this work. And that's what actually gives me meaning in my life as a person. It's humbling to hear that some of my work has gotten people through very difficult times in their lives, and family issues and health issues and all sorts of things. And for me, that's the payback, really, more than anything else. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about the money. Yeah. But when I hear that people's lives are enriched by something I'm doing, I feel like I made the right choice in my life. I was originally going to be a doctor, and I really wanted to be of service. Yeah. Yeah. So if you had to pick, and I know you've probably been asked this multiple times, is there anyone you love playing, or you hope to get to play sometime? I love all the characters for different reasons. I've gotten to play many more than I ever expected to play, and as you'll see next year, I'm actually getting to play some really great new characters that have never been seen before, that I never even imagined I'd be playing. So I don't really think in terms of what I haven't played. I'm just grateful for what I have. So you were saying there you were almost a doctor. So you never thought you'd become... You never planned to become a voice actor? No. You never planned to become this? No. I thought I'd be a musician. My father was a doctor. He wanted me to be a doctor. So I was pre-med for 1 year and not very successful at it. I wasn't that great of a student. Even with that voice, you didn't go, I do sound like this is a great voice. Yeah, but I didn't know people could make a living doing that. Yeah. And I came from a family where academics were very important. My father, up until 5 years ago, I've been doing this professionally for over 15 years, close to 20 years now. My father, up until 5 years ago, kept asking me if I had a backup plan, because this will never sustain me. And he just didn't understand. A lot of people don't understand that it is possible to make a living doing this. It's very, very difficult. And I got very lucky, but I still continue to work very hard at it and never take it for granted. So you're here at Eirtakon. How are Irish fans? Like, this is their first time, so what's the experience of Irish fans? I love this. It's great. It's so interesting just to see that the fans are almost the same all over the world, just different accent, a little bit different perspective. The thing that surprised me here in Ireland so far is how polite everybody is. In the panels, everybody's really quiet and respectful, and everybody takes their turns, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting more of a boisterous kind of community. It's really interesting.
We treat, I know you wouldn't prefer to be called celebrities, but people in multimedia, we treat them, with a certain grain of respect. We know they're real. A lot of us know they're real people.
Yeah.
They're not kind of like these symbols.
Yeah.
So we we'd say hi to someone, but we would never try to push ourselves on them as maybe some other fans might do.
Yeah.
So I think that's why some people find it like that.
It's been wonderful, though. Even in just traveling around in the city, I don't hear people honking at each other and being disrespectful to each other like you would, say, in Rome or one of these other big cities. It's interesting here in Dublin. It just seems like a really intelligent and respectful community.
Yeah.
And it's so great to be here. I've wanted to visit here for most of my life.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we've unfortunately had to wrap up. So if you could say, I know you've probably gotten sound bites a lot, but would you mind saying one thing in your Wolverine voice?
Right.
You have the right to remain geeky to the camera, if you don't mind.
You have the right to remain geeky, bub. Snicked.
Thank you so much, Steve. It was a pleasure meeting you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man.